Namaste everyone, and I hope you guys are doing absolutely fine. So the clay that I'm gonna use is Fevicryl Molded. I have created various tutorials on this clay. Please do check it out on my channel. I'll just do a quick explanation over here. This clay mainly contains these two parts, that is the resin and the hardener. And now what you have to do is take them in equal quantities and we have to mix them by rolling them. If you are fully new to this clay, then please take only smaller quantities of clay so that you will get idea to experiment on it, and if anything goes wrong then the clay won't waste. Now this clay will harden completely in 2 hours. So you have to be careful while making it and you have to speed your process so that you can complete your work within 2 hours. You have to mix it like this. Like this I am rolling it. The only way to mix it is the only better way to mix it is rolling it like this. No need to use any powder or any other water or any other materials like that. So other thing that I'm gonna need is wires. The basic hinge joints that is we are gonna create is the complex hinge joints, and basic technique of it is this: one wire which goes into a circular form of another wire like this. This is the basic concept of this. This is what is the main I would say skeleton of our complex hinge joints. We had created a simple hinge joint before, and this is another version or more complicated version of hinge joints. So first thing is like this. You have to make you can get these wires from any hardware stores. You have to make this wire in circular shape like this and then attach them together. You can attach two wires together or even three wires or even four, but my recommendation is please don't only attach one wire to it. Attach more than two or three if possible, so that the clay doesn't come out later on. So I have taken a new mixed clay, you can see over here. Same thing is same clay Fevicryl molded, but I had mixed some black color in it while mixing it. That is the reason this clay is gray in color right now. So what I am doing over here is I am adding this clay over the circular thing that we created with the help of wires. You can bend the wires using a spanner. There are also previous videos of other joints where I have bended the wires using spanner. So you can see that I had just skip it over here because that again consumes a lot of time. Now you can use a paint brush or any other tool. I am using my messy silicone rubber tool over here to make a hole in here. You can see this type of shape that first you have to get, and then you can use also a pin tool which can pierce through, and then it is just trying to make a hole over here. You can see. Now while making these joints we have to be careful and we have to make them as precise as possible so that the joint movement goes proper. If we don't make them precise, then there are chances that the joint movement won't be proper when it when it hardens up completely. So like this I'm trying to extend the hole. Now the hole must be big enough so that we can insert the other two wires in it, and also it will be wrapped in clay. So try to make the hole quite big enough over here. You will understand that when you see the whole joint tutorial video. So my suggestion to you is first see the whole video and then start making it, and then while making it you can watch the video parts by parts. But at start, if you see the whole video, you will get an idea of what exactly we are doing. Now I have inserted a brush over here because the brush is circular in shape, and so all I have to do is just give shape to the outer part, and inner part will stay circular intact. And also with the help of a brush I can roll it like this so that the outer part also gets a proper circular shape. You can see over here like this. Now if you have just mixed the clay, you might have observed that the clay is very soft. So if you are not able to get this shape at start, or if you're finding it difficult to work when the clay is soft, my suggestion to you is wait for around 20 to 25 minutes and then start making this shape over here like this, so that the clay will be little hard and it will be easy for you to work on. Now again I am trying to be as much precise as possible. That's the reason I am trying to give this kind of shapes over here. you can see that the sides must be flat enough so that the joint movement must be proper. So I have just pressed spatula so that the sides are flat enough. You can see it over here. This is something which is not very difficult but is not also very easy. There are tricks to it. I mean, if you're used to making things out of clay, then you can surely make this shape for sure. But if you're not used to making things out of this clay, my suggestion to you is start making easy shapes first and then get into making joints. Now you can see over here I'm getting the shape little by little. We have to be careful that our inner circle doesn't get damaged and also our outer circle also becomes proper. And the other thing is that you have to use wires over it. If anyone is asking me that, if anyone has doubts like this, that why are we using wires, and the thing is that we are making joints out of clay so they can break anytime. So it is important that you use wires, so wire acts as a skeleton or a rigid support from inside so that the clay doesn't break. Still, you want to create, if you want to create without wires, you can surely experience it yourself, because this thing we can only learn with the help of trial and error methods and by experience. So like this you can see now our shape is kind of ready and we are getting close to perfection. I'm not saying this is fully perfect yet, but yeah, this shape is getting a little close to perfection. You can see this must be proper flat, and here the circle must also be proper, right? This is my technique. I'm just showing it to you guys. You can see this technique and invent a technique of your own as well, and we all will be happy to see it. So again, what I'm doing is just I can skip this part, but I think I should show because it takes time to get these kind of shapes with the help of clay. Now what I will do is, you can add also design on this later on, on the upper circular part. But while adding the design, my suggestion to you is add brush like this from the inside, and then you can add design, because what will happen is that the clay is soft, so when you push something, try to add design from the outer layer, then there are chances the inner circle might get damaged. And I will keep it to dry for around 2 hours now, and coming back to our new wires, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend them in L shape like this, and what I will do is I will stick them together, and I will add some masking tape on them like this. You can also add glue on them later on if you want. I prefer adding masking tape, and I also add little glue on them as well. Glue I always use is Astral Vetra, sorry for that. So what I'm gonna do is I have taken some new mixed clay. This time I have not mixed any black color in it, because this part will mainly be in the inside, so it won't be visible from the outside. Also, that mixing black color is not necessary, but I am using it for some project, that's why I have added black color on it. You can completely keep it white as well, there is no issue with that. So you can see it over here. What I am creating is this type of shape so that it can go inside. By the way, the previous thing that we created, it has been completely hardened up right now after around 2 hours. My suggestion is to keep it to harden for around 2.5 to 3 hours as well, if you are staying at areas which contain lots of humidity. So you can see what I am doing. So what I have to do is I have to get it thin like this. Currently it is a little bit bulky, so what I will do is try to roll it as much as possible, because here also the circular shape or the cylindrical shape which goes in the inside, it must be a close to perfect cylinder. I'm not saying perfect cylinder because we are working by hand and it is a handmade artwork, so it is little difficult to get 100% perfect at anything. At least I don't get anything 100% perfect, but many of you are better artists, so you can surely get things perfect. So what I do is I try to make them 80 to 90% perfect shape, because it's not possible for me at least to get 100% shapes. So like this I'm cutting the extra part over here. I'm using a spatula to cut it. If you don't have any tools, my suggestion is you can use alternate options like scale or anything to cut these things, but my suggestion is to get these tools. These are cheap, and with the help of tools work becomes fast and you can create more things at a faster pace. And if you're creating complicated joints like this, then it is important to have tools. So if you need any information on tools, there is a beginner tutorial regarding mouldit. I have explained tools over there as well, you can check it out. Now see how what I'm doing. Again, with the help of a spatula, I'm trying to make it as smooth as possible, and it must be a perfect cylinder. I mean, we can try to make it a perfect cylinder. It won't be a perfect cylinder, but our try must be to be as much perfect as possible. So like this you can see. Now the thing is that you don't have to make it too thin. If you make it too thin, then the joint will be very loose. You have to make it in a way that it is little bulky than the actual size of the hole. You have to keep on inserting it, keep on keeping aside the hole again and again. You can see now that it is little bit bulkier than the hole, and I am keeping it like that only. I won't be making it smaller than the hole, because that will ruin the joint, because it will become very loose, and I don't like loose joints. So you can see this is fully hard, and you can also see this is also fully hard. Both I had kept to harden for around 2 to 3 hours. Now you can see this one doesn't go inside, and this is the thing which we want to happen, right? If it goes inside easily, then the issue will be that the joint will be very loose. So what I will be doing over here right now is, with the help of a cutter, please be careful over here if you're doing this. With the help of a cutter, I will be just little bit cutting the extra part from the sides like this. This is not something which is very difficult thing, and you make sure that you don't cut a lot of part, just a tiny layers from little all sides you have to cut, and you have to keep on inserting it into the hole, which means that cut little part, then try to insert, again cut little part, try to insert. If it goes, then it's completely done, but if it doesn't, then again remove it, try to cut it like this, see at which part is obstructing, which part is coming in between, then try to cut the excess part. This is something which I can only explain, but once you make it yourself, you have to experience this and you have to understand this, and then only you can get to know what exactly is happening over here. It is not something which is like much confusing or something. You can surely make it. Now you can see I have cut a little more part over here and there, and now what I will be doing is I will try to insert this. But before that, what needs to be done is I will be adding glue at the parts where the there are, you will see that there will be a little gap where the clay sticks to the wire. So if you add glue over there, that will just hold the clay to the wire more properly, so that you can see it has been completely inserted over here. And also, since we have added glue later on, the whenever we are moving these, when the joint will start moving, the wire won't stay separate from the clay again, because these things happen. Now if you are making it, you will experience these things to happen. So if you think that the wire is not sticking to the clay properly, then you can add the glue in it, which I had explained it just some time before, right? So now I'm trying to bend it. Now you can see over here, if you have watched the simple hinge joint tutorial, now that it is kind of a same concept which we have done over here. The only thing is that we have made them more bulky, we have made them more bigger. And but the simple hinge joints, they are not able to hold weight, but these they can hold weight for sure if you make them properly, and if you tighten them as well. They need to be tight, proper tight. After over time, because of a lot of friction, things can happen that they can get loose over time, but again with the help of the glue technique, we can surely make them tight once again. I might show that in some future character tutorial video for sure. Now what I'm doing over here is that I have added some glue on a flat surface, and I'm dipping a pin tool over here, you can see. And what I will be doing is I will be adding the pin tool at the sides like this, just in case if the joint is very loose, then I have added glue over here like this, so that will make them more tight, right? This is just a small explanation which I did regarding tightening. I can show it later on in a future video as well. That becomes more explainable when we are creating a character or something like that. Now you can see these can move, and you can also see the joint is moving properly. And we have added glue inside the joint before inserting, so that won't, that won't stick. Sorry, that has proper stuck to it, so it won't come out. Many times can happen that only the wire starts moving and the clay gets stuck inside and joint gets damaged. These are the things that can happen. So what I have done is I have just added some new clay on the other side, the side which was open previously. And again, after adding the clay, it's my duty to keep on moving it like this, so that this clay won't stick to the other clay or the other joint part. So we had to keep on moving it like this. You can see this becomes very tight if you really make it, but later on when we add weights to the sides and everything like that, then they start to become loose. But we will keep that part for some other video, some other character tutorial. So keep on moving it like this, and then keep it to harden like this, and after 2 hours it will completely hardened up. Now here I have created another one. This one problem that can arise with you is that whenever you added the new clay later on, it can come off like this once it is hardened. So what you can do is just add glue to it like this, remove it, and then add glue. Don't add glue directly. If the glue goes into the joint, then your joint will go complete waste. It will break because it won't move, and this glue is super sticky. So like this I have attached it, and it will stick to it now, and we can move it, and the joint is functional. So these are the tricks that happen, and I've also shown how to fix them. You will understand many of these things once you make it. Only watching videos won't be enough. You have to make it, and you have to understand the process and invent your ways. So you can also make something like this with the help of these joints only. And I also used these joints to make human characters as well, which I will be explaining in future whenever time permits, or if time permits. But yeah, these joints are kind smaller, and I will also explain how to create a smaller complex hinge joints in a future video. Till then, see you next time with some new creation.